I've got some projects and repairs coming up soon, which is going to involve getting the monkey metal out. Now, it's fair to say I hate cutting sheet steel for making repair panels and stuff. It's just something I've always kind of struggled with. I have used proper shears over the years, but I don't really like using those. I kind of default to these ones, which are kind of budget ones you can get just about anywhere. They do come in 3 different types. They have a curved ones, so you can cut around corners a bit easier. But I've not used those for so long. I don't even know where they are, to be fair. So I can use them, I do use them, but as you're cutting through them, you kind of get a really nasty edge, and you have to kind of bend the metal out the way as you're going. So if you want a nice straight flat panel straight away, I just struggle with that. So probably because I don't do this very often and I'm not very good at it, I also am a bit lazy, I kind of default to the angle grinder and I use a slitting disc. So that's how I cut most of my metal these days. It kind of works all right. It's a little bit tricky going around corners, cutting corners, because you end up with an angle in the metal, so a kind of a thin piece, and obviously you get lots of flash and stuff on the edges of whatever you're cutting. So it does work. It creates loads of sparks, but it does the job. So I was told to get a nibbler. Well, I've already got a nibbler. I've had these for years, and I really hate using these things. I find they just jam up, they're awkward to use. And I think they're useless. I hate using them. It's probably me that's not very good. I don't do this on a regular basis. But yeah, probably one of my least favourite hand tools in the garage. And they just kind of gather dust on the shelf. But there are nibblers, and then there's nibblers. Now this is a Lidl special Parkside Nibbler. I kind of heard about this and I was kind of watching out for it in the little shelves, but it never arrived. And then just by chance, I was in the shop the other day and what should I find? So today we're going to be trying out this electric nibbler. Let's see how it goes. So out of the box I noticed that the die part here isn't actually straight to the gun. So I just need to loosen the Allen key here and we'll just turn it slightly so it's nice and straight, and hopefully we can cut straight lines a little bit easier. The nibbler did come with a couple of Allen keys to do that and a spare pin as well. Crikey, that's tight. I fold the die down to here, look, and I've drawn a line so you can kind of see where it is relative to the Allen key head. But when you tighten it up, it turns. So this has been drilled so you can have the nibbler in 4 positions. So if you're cutting sideways or even in reverse. But obviously that's been drilled out of line with the end. Now, I know this is a budget machine, 30 quid and all. But you think they'd be able to drill it in the right place, wouldn't you? I'm not sure how much that will affect things, but I'm going to have to bear in mind the position I hold the gun slightly. So that is definitely not straight to the gun. So we're going to start by cutting out this panel now. I'm guessing this isn't really designed for cutting small panels like this out. So this is actually a panel I need for something I'm working on. I have also drawn some lines on there so I can see where the needle is. It's kind of hard to see from above. Well, the edge on that's not bad at all. It actually goes through this 1mm plate like butter really easily. You don't have to put any pressure on at all. Now it's a bit wonky, donkey. It's actually quite hard to keep it in a straight line with one hand, especially with this jumping around. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this down and clamp it down so it's not bouncing around so much. And then we'll try and cut with 2 hands and see if we can do a neater job. 2 hands this time. I'm going to try cutting down here and taking as much of this edge off as I can. Again, it's near an edge, so it's not ideal. And then we'll cut around that, all being well. Well, that's not bad at all. I'm actually quite impressed for a second attempt. The edge where it was towards the edge, look, it's a bit raggedy and nibbled. And I say it's not really made for that. But it did a reasonable job, to be fair. And then we've got quite a nice edge. Again, it's a bit nibbled, so it's not as straight as you get with an angle grinder. But if you're welding it, that's probably not a massive issue. So a quick clean up, and we've got a couple of usable panels there to start trimming down to the right size. So as you nibble through, as you can see there, you actually cut quite a wide gap. It actually measures about 5mm. So obviously, if you could have cut this with an angle grinder or something, or with shears, you'd lose nothing pretty much. If you could use a 1mm slitting disc, you can lose about 1mm of steel. If you use a nibbler, you are actually wasting and losing a fair amount of steel there as you're cutting through. Obviously, losing metal is not something you worry about generally if you're going to be cutting out such as a panel from a van. So I've got the side panel on the side of my van to cut out at some point, which I'd like to do creating minimum sparks, because I don't intend on taking most of the kitchen out. And obviously you don't worry about what you're losing, you just need to know where your outside edge is. Cutting something like this, you might want to worry more about losing steel, because obviously buying sheet steel's not cheap. And you want to lose as little of it as possible, or waste as little as possible. So for this sort of thing, it's convenient, but it's a little bit wasteful. Now, I don't want to waste too much steel because I am a tight Yorkshireman, but I'm curious to see if I can cut a wiggly line out of this steel. Obviously, if you're going to be using shears or an angle grinder, something like this, or at least for me, would be a little bit more tricky. I'm hoping I'm getting used to how the gun feels. I'll be able to do that relatively easily. So let's give it a whirl. Interesting. So no, you cannot cut a curve as tight as I drew. That's about as tight as it goes. So it's not bad. I mean, for larger panels it would be absolutely fine. But you couldn't cut around a corner, for example, if you wanted a nice gradual curve on a corner or something. Also, you probably noticed when I set off, it could be because I'm new to using it. Literally, this is the third or fourth cut I've made. But it kind of wants to run away with itself. It cuts through so easily. The slightest pressure, it tends to jump forwards, so that's why I got a bit of a raggedy start to it there. But generally, if that's what you're looking for, a curve like that, I don't think it's done a bad job. It's just not ideal for really tight stuff. So that wasn't too bad. As I say, it was a by eye straight line. I just wanted to cut the raggedy edge off this panel. So when you do it by eye and just go for it, it cuts through quite nicely and quite easily, and pretty straight as well. It kind of helps you guide it in a straight line to some extent. If you're trying to follow lines and stuff, it's a little bit more tricky, and like most things, you need to get used to using the tool, and it's new to me. So I'm sure I could improve over time with that. But it's certainly rapid. So compared to cutting with an angle grinder or something, zero sparks, super rapid, super easy. So it's definitely got its place in my garage. So there we have it. I know this is a short review, but what else can I show you? You've got a metal paddle and it nibbles its way through it. It kind of does what it says on the tin. So in terms of doing what I bought it for, it's kind of perfect really. It goes through steel panels like butter. Super quick, it's not especially loud, you're not generating sparks and setting fire to your van, which I've done in the past. And yeah, I imagine for cutting panels out of vans and stuff, and even for doing panels out of fresh steel to make panels from, it could be a pretty handy tool to have. Obviously you don't be wasting steel where you can avoid it, but it's kind of the payoff for being lazy, and the convenience of cutting easy and quickly. It's not ideal for small stuff. It doesn't do that the best, and obviously you can't do tight bends and corners and cuts. But I say that's not a major thing. You use different tools for different things, I guess. It's a little bit tricky using because obviously you're working at like 6-7 inches away from the panel, so it kind of moves around a lot. Obviously I'm new to using this, so that'll probably lessen in time. And it's quite big and clunky, so if you were to be working inside a vehicle trying to cut a panel, I imagine you'd be banging on things and you'd struggle. So really it's something you're going to be using from the outside of a car in free air. I don't think it's something you'd kind of start cutting panels from the inside of a car with, unless you've got a completely bare vehicle. But at least it's not on fire. So yeah, the quality of this particular Parkside one is questionable. I don't see why they wouldn't drill that correctly. It seems kind of a basic manufacturing process. So I don't know if this is a one-off mistake or if they're all a bit winky wonky, but ultimately it doesn't seem to make any difference in terms of how it cuts. So it's not causing me to veer offline in any major way, because there's a bit of give in the thickness of the back of the die there and the hole it cuts. So yeah, not a major problem, I guess. And for 30 quid, I mean, you don't get a lot of specialist tools these days for 30 quid that are actually worth having. And I think it's a good value one. I'm sure there's other manufacturers that do similar things, and you can get pneumatic ones, I believe, which I'm assuming body shops, if they do use them, they're the ones they use. Overall, pretty happy. Hope that helps, guys. Take care. Bye bye.